welcome to episode 5. I'm Desiree.
And I'm Justine.
And I'm Erica.
And this is
Sippin' and Dishin'.
Today we have Erica with us. I know Erica from school. I met her during an accounting class, and then we've kind of just connected ever since. And I think that was, oh my goodness, before Ellie, so at least over 5 years ago.
It was when I first moved to Sacramento, so it was in 2013. Yeah.
Oh my God!
And
really?
I was
funny? Freshly married. Oh my God!
I think you had got married the year before, and then
so I met you in 2014.
Because I moved to Sacramento in 2013, and then I couldn't make friends because it's hard to make friends when you're grown. And so I was like, well, I know if I go to school I'll make friends. So I took a class, and then that's the reason. So I know it was about 6 months after I moved to Sacramento, which would have been early 2014.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I didn't know this. So where did you move from?
I lived in San Jose, so I went to San Jose State, and then I lived there from 18 to like 26, and then I moved back because it got too expensive.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean,
not that Sacramento's getting any cheaper.
Yeah, at the time, Sacramento was, I was kind of like, oh, it's like Cowtown. Like I don't want to go to Sacramento. Like the Bay Area is so cool. There's just so much stuff to do, so much like culture and other stuff in Sacramento. From my view, was just so boring, and it was like where I grew up, where my family was, and I just thought of it as like, I don't know, nobody's here.
I've been here forever. It's boring.
Yeah.
I know there's stuff secretly somewhere that I don't know about.
Yeah.
We're just not cool enough to know about it.
Well, I think like Sacramento's really like chill. So like everybody's kind of on like more of like a hipster vibe. So like you go to a bar and you just like relax, right? And in the Bay Area, there's like bars where you can relax and do all that stuff. But then also, as in like my party phase, so there's lots of clubs, there's lots of opportunities to like get dressed up. And I was in San Jose, so Oakland's right there, San Jose is there, and then San Francisco is there. So you had like a lot more things you could do. Go to Santa Cruz if you want to go to the beach. Like it was kind of, you just kind of pick what you want, and everything's within an hour away. So for Sacramento, nice. I was like, well, it's 2 hours from all of these other things that I normally do, and it's like one metropolitan area versus the entire Bay Area. So you just have more options that I guess for fuckery. So I decided to move back to Sacramento because I couldn't afford it. So I was trying to find an apartment, and I remember at the time, I'm like 26. I was like making like $17 an hour. No shade to anybody who makes $17 an hour now, but I was making $17 an hour now, and in the Bay Area that wasn't shit, basically.
Oh yeah, in the Bay.
And then you look at like I had just graduated, I had student loans that I had to pay, like all these like real life bills kind of coming, and I was like, what do you mean like rent is $1,500? Like I don't have $1,500. And that was like, and even with a roommate, like it didn't shrink it much. And so I lived with my cousin for a few months, and I was just applying for jobs, and I was like, I'm gonna apply for jobs in the Bay Area, and I'm gonna apply for jobs in Sacramento, and whichever one I get first, I'll decide where I want to go. And I got a job in Sacramento first. As you get older, you make friends either at work or like if you have kids, or through like some social group that you are that's already existing. But when you're moving to a new area, like I had a ton of family, or not a ton, but a few, family members that I could hang out with, but I didn't have like a friend group that, like I can just kind of like vent with and, kind of do that stuff. And so I actually went on meetup.com. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Meetup.com is like it's like a dating app for friends.
Really?
Oh.
I don't think I've ever
sort
heard
of like
it.
how like they have Bumble BFF now. And yeah, like it's similar to that, but it's like meetup.com. So I went on that website trying to make friends, and then that was kind of a bust because people were kind of weird. So I was like, I got to take a class. I got to go to school just to get back to how I met Desiree. But I remember sitting in whatever that guy's Professor Diamond's class or what.
Yes, I remember him. I really liked him.
Everybody's like grouping up, and Desiree's so sweet. And so she's like kind of sitting at the end of the aisle, like not grouping with anybody. And I remember
she's anti-social too.
I remember we're like, she's just sitting there. She's like, I don't have a group. And he's like, okay, you guys can be 5. We're like, she can join our group. Come with us.
Yes.
And then
they adopted me. I was like, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm really thankful because like, honestly, as far as like my experience in Sacramento, like I'm about to get all sentimental.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
As far as my experience in Sacramento, like, you were like really one of my first like Sacramento, like new to Sacramento, like friends that I made. And so like you were very receptive and very like, these are all my friends, come hang out with us. I'm having a party at my house. You know what I mean? And you really like kind of opened yourself up to me. And it was like, and I'm sure you don't know how meaningful it was to me just because you don't know my experience before then, and we haven't actually ever talked about it, but it did really kind of help me. And I mean, now, you know, to sit here with you like 5 years later, like we're still friends, like, you know, we still like work.
I could have swore you guys have been friends for longer than that.
You know, we still work in the same building, and you're so fun. And I don't know, like, I love you, and I've gotten to see, like, you know, your growth as you like have your family and kind of like devolve and like, you know, buy a house, sell a house, buy another house. Like, she's boss, y'all. So, but you know, like as you go through that experience, so I just, you know, I'm very happy to support you in your podcast journey, and you and Justine as well.
Well, like you said earlier, like when you first saw me, like I'm not super social. Like I'm nervous to get out of my zone to make friends. So to me, it had to have been a great connection for me to want to do that, because a lot of my friends I've been friends with forever. Because like you, I never even thought about like, oh, what's a way to meet friends? Like when I went to school, it wasn't to meet friends. It was just like, oh, I need to take this class. I need to get out of under my belt and go. And then if anything happened outside of that, it was like, yay, that's awesome. So when I was in class, I wasn't really talking to people because I'm like, okay, I'm just here to do a job. And then when it was time to make a class, I was like, oh my God, anxiety group. I'm gonna have to talk to people. And the fact that like you guys, oh, you can join me, like I was like, oh, thank God, because I would have totally done this project alone.
Well, and you know, when you think about it though, like you were a great addition to our team. Like Desiree, like in her computer skills, like she created that Jeopardy game. Let me tell you, God,
was it on a spreadsheet?
It was on a spreadsheet. She had like shortcuts. She created she did all this stuff with Excel that like seemed like magic to me at the time. Honestly, she was like in charge of our whole PowerPoint and like putting that all together. And then I think after that we ended up being like in multiple groups, right? Like together.
We stayed in the same group for the rest of the class, and it was awesome. Yeah. But I mean, I think that shows to like what kind of person you are, because because it was a group of 4 ladies, and like I connected with you, and then our friendship was able to grow. So I mean,
so the other 4 ladies disappeared into the night.
No, I still follow them on Facebook. I like them. I love seeing their pictures. But on a friendship level, I was able to connect with Erica and just let our friendship grow. And that was awesome.
I'm awesome.
You are. No, you are. Okay. And I'm so happy you told me how much it meant to you. I didn't realize.
It really did. It really did mean a lot to me. That's why I'm always like, oh, are you having a Halloween party? Oh, are you having, like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? I want to be involved. I want to come. You know what I mean? Like, I really like.
Friendships are really important to me. And I want like each individual friend to know how much they mean to me. And I try to like nourish that friendship and let it grow. And, you know, because like every relationship in your life, whether it's friendship or like who you're married to, or even like a family member like your mother, like you need to put some kind of effort into it to keep it going, you know. And so like I am glad to know that my effort has been received.
Yeah, you're so meaningful. Yay. She made a difference in my life, y'all. Okay, I'll put you in.
That makes me feel all happy.
Okay, well, I adopted Erica.
Yes.
I'll put that out there. I adopted Erica.
Justine. Yes. Justine, she's a bad bitch secretly. That's a secret. Don't tell nobody else. No, I found out.
She's just a bad bitch?
I found out. I thought she was a mom, but I found out Miss Justine has, you know, she's got some skills. She's a freak.
Oh my gosh, I was dead.
I think that was so funny. Like, I don't know if you guys have talked about like the whole limo thing. Oh, you mentioned in Heather's episode, but the like doing the whole limo thing and all that was so
for
fun.
Heather's birthday party.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I did not know Justine could party like that. It makes me wish I knew you when I was like 22. Like, where was Justine when I was 22?
Yeah, I was eating carbs before I drank. That's where I was.
She was smarter.
Yeah.
Popcorn is not a breakfast food.
No, it's not.
Is that what you had? Popcorn?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Girl, that's why
I thought that was Desiree. Both of you.
Well, because we both went to the movie with the kids.
Okay.
And then it's like, you know, like by the time the movie was over, there was only a little bit of time to like go
teeny
home
bit
and
of time
make
to get
ourselves
ready,
like beautiful. So it's like by the time we were done, it was time to leave. Mm-hmm. And it was just like at the point, and then we're like there, and it's like, oh, well, we need to start drinking, and they're just, I guess,
there was no time for food.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
And Ooh.
And then you're like, but I'm a party like it's 1990.
Oh, I should have fucked it. But you know what the difference was about when I was in my 20s? I remembered everything. I remember everything.
The memory goes.
Don't you notice that? Like, okay, so as you get older, like I remember like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like every day, like I didn't go out on Sundays unless it was like reggae night or something, right? But I would, you know, like when you're younger, you can go out every night, get up, go to work, and go out again. And you can kind of like cycle that. But as you get older, like now, I'm like,
recoup.
I'm like, let's go out on Friday so I can recover on Saturday
and
Sunday. Yeah. So that, I'm ready for work on Monday.
Ooh, speaking of drinking, why don't you tell everybody what we're drinking tonight?
Oh, today we are having a sex on the beach.
And it's actually really yummy.
It's really yummy. I forgot
I've had
how
one
good
before.
they were.
They're delicious.
This is my first time having
shout
it.
out to the bartender.
Woo woo.
That's Desiree.
I winged it. I was just like, does that look like it?
He did a great job.
Pour.
It's just because it's vodka. It's like a lot of vodka in here. But that's okay.
I thought it was delicious.
It is really good.
Exactly. So, did you prepare 2 truths and a lie for us?
I did prepare 2 truths and a lie. I've never been in a serious relationship. I owe over $75,000 in student loans. Or I have never taken my wig off in front of an ex.
The lie, I know the lie for sure. Is,
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll let you guys know. So since I
Okay.
don't want you to steal my answer. Remember, I like to be a solo winner.
I know you do.
Let me have
You like
this
to talk
one.
me out of my answers.
I'll let you pick, and then I'll tell you the for real answer, and then no takesies backsies.
Okay.
I
No
think
wig for the exes, and then serious relationship. I feel like you've been in a serious relationship because I feel like I remember you being in a relationship for a good amount of time. So the lie. What's the lie? I'm gonna say the last one.
I've never taken off my wig in front of an ex. Okay.
I feel like at that point you don't even give a shit. Like, fuck you guys. You're an ex. Bye.
Bye.
Look at my real shit.
I think your lie is the debt. I don't think you owe $70,000 in student loans. And that's only because I've talked to you about finances.
Okay. I didn't know if I told you. I feel like
I
that's
know
cheating
exactly
now.
how
But-
much you owe. I know exactly how
Dude,
much
I felt like it was realistic because she went to school. I feel like everybody that goes to school has debt.
We're
Yeah.
accountants. You should have known I would remember your debt.
I didn't think. Okay, because
I
I didn't remember.
helped
I
you
told
with
you
debt.
at one point I did owe over $75,000, but
not
I am
right
on a
now.
debt payoff journey. But I chose these 2 truths and a lie. One, like I've never been in a serious relationship. I feel like at the time I was in the relationship, I felt like it was a serious relationship.
Okay,
but
but how
like
long was it?
in hindsight, my longest relationship was about 3 years.
That's a
But-
long fucking relationship.
It was 3 years, and it was like on and off. And I don't know if you have like experience or like, you're like, you guys are both married, right? So like when you're with somebody and it's real to you at the moment, but then in hindsight, you like look at some of the things and like the way the relationship was and kind of like some of the communication that you had or some of, like just some of the ways that the relationship happened, and you look back at it and you're like that wasn't real. It was all like a facade. And so I say that to say that like a lot of the relationships I've been in, I don't want to sound like I'm on like, a woe is me kind of thing, but like I felt like I've been like lied to, or like people have been misrepresented themselves. And so the person that I thought that I was in a relationship with
wasn't real.
wasn't real, right? And so
Hate
then
that
can
fake
you
shit.
be in a serious relationship with somebody who is like hiding some aspect of themselves? Like if you don't know, all the things that So I kind of for myself, like I kind of battle between this like if it was real for me at the time, then it was real. And then like later you find out it was fake, but then does it negate all of the feelings that you had at the time when you thought that it was real? Or is it like, if it was never real, or that person wasn't really showing you their true self, like, is it really real? And so it's something that I think like kind of, leads into, one of my topics that I have, or actually 2 of my topics that I have. And then when I say like I haven't taken my wig off in front of an ex,
I just realized that
that's
I was
true.
like, oh no, that shit's true. Like I just said, oh,
Yeah.
that's true. So I totally got that wrong
Yeah.
because I thought it was true.
Yeah. Well, it is true.
It is true.
No, that's what
It
I'm
is true.
saying.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was
But
totally
you said it was
wrong
a lie,
because-
but now
I
you
know,
realize it was true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
So
true.
the
I
debt
think.
one is your lie.
So the debt one is my lie. I
Yeah.
do not owe $75,000 in student loans anymore. Thank
Isn't
goodness.
it like 30 something?
Now it's down to, well, actually, I have to look because I have like a federal student loan program thing that I'm working on too. But for as far as what I have to pay, I got it down from like the private loans were at like 36 and I've gotten them down to 20. So that's good. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
I paid off a
God.
ton. When you like look at it and you go look,
God,
and
you
it's
said
like,
it was
damn,
over 75 and now
it
you're down to
was
20.
it was over
That's pretty
75, but
good.
then the other one is at
You've
like
been really working
40.
good at that, though.
So I mean, I still owe a ton of money, but I think
Still,
like
that's good.
like, I don't know. I kind of want to get that load off of my head, especially being like 30, over 30 actually, single. I'm starting to like consider like, if I do end up by myself, like, am I okay with that? Right. And if I am, like, do I give up all the other goals that I have? So like, I want to buy a house, like I want to be able to have nice things. I want to be able to, do these, hit these other milestones that I have kind of like that for myself that I have set for myself. But if I don't find a partner to hit those things with, like, does that mean that I don't get any of the other things that I want that, may be easier to achieve with a partner? And so I need to start working on myself to prepare myself. And so if that person does come into my life, I'm ready. And if they don't, I'm also good, know?
Yeah.
I think that's a smart plan.
I think that's smart too.
So I'm trying to pay.
I know I wish that I would have bought a house before I got married. We actually, me and Galen talk about it all the time. Like, I wish that I knew what I knew now, and I would have bought before when I was single. I don't know. I feel like,
yeah, I think
better turn on your investment.
It's kind of
right. That's where I'm like, oh, but we could have just lived in my house,
yes,
together,
with low rent.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you could have rented it out. Like,
but
you
then,
just have options.
when you meet somebody,
Yeah.
you could rent it out. You could sell it, have a profit.
Buy
you know what I
another
mean?
one.
Like,
Yeah, you have options. You could
so
live
no matter
in it.
what,
you could
being
do it.
single or when you marry or find somebody later in life, I think you'd still be set no matter what.
Yeah, and I have a friend who, like, actually, she just recently purchased a house by herself too, and it was like, I mean,
Girl,
it was
you
a
could get a
fixer
cute
upper,
little
and she did
condo
some,
or
and you don't need that
And
much
it
space
might be
because you're.
empowering too, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, everything in this house, I fucking bought. This
Yeah.
is my house. I
Right.
bought this.
My house, my
Right.
couch, my shit.
Yeah.
If we break up, I don't got to give you half.
Yeah, like,
Right.
this is my house.
It's
I own
mine.
it. Bye.
But I think it's just like, like why you want all the, you want all those things. It just like, I don't want to wait for,
You
shouldn't.
have to.
yeah, for somebody else to say, oh, okay, like now I can do this. Now I have like the freedom to do this
I
other
wish
thing
I
that I
wouldn't have
really wanted to
waited.
do. Because,
Yep.
I mean, you
I would have
know,
never even thought about it when I was single, though. Because even when, like, I was married and my husband was like, let's buy a house, I was like, are you sure? Is this
It's
something we
scary,
should
right?
do? Yeah, I
It
know.
is scary.
I was really scared, but it's like kind of like I had to take a leap of faith. And I mean, it worked out, obviously, but in the moment, it felt so terrifying. But it's actually less scary than you think once you actually do it. And I think you can totally do it. And I think it's going to be like woman empowerment. You got this. You don't need no man. And then maybe when you're at that point, that's when that like love connection might happen, you know?
And then when he meets you, he's like, this bitch got her
he's like,
shit together.
yes,
Look
like,
at her.
yeah, and like the perfect dude for you is gonna find it so sexy that you don't need no man.
I think
that
that
you
shit's
bought
super
this out
sexy
yourself.
to be
exactly,
independent.
yeah.
well, I kind of like and so like another thing of being older and dating, right, is like, I wonder, like, if that's intimidating for men, right? Because
And that's their
That's
fucking
true.
problem.
I've heard
that's
that.
their problem.
But that's
but
their problem. You should
but at the
lower
same
yourself
time,
for
like,
them.
like the older I get, the higher my standards get.
Yeah.
And then it's just harder because, you start to make more money, you have more stuff, you have more common sense. So you're like, I'm not, like, you've been through stuff. You're like, oh, no, red flag. Bye. Bye.
Can't trick me.
Right. And so,
I feel like there's no perfect timeline when like that love connection's gonna happen. It's different for everybody. You know, some people meet their soulmate at 15. I couldn't fucking imagine meeting my soulmate at 15. You know what I mean? So
It's
there's
great
no-
if you can, but
'Cause there's people that
changed so
happen-
much within
Yeah.
that amount of time.
So there's
Yeah,
not a
I'm
perfect
curious.
timeline like when it's supposed to happen. So maybe your timeline's just a little older, but that doesn't mean that like your love won't be as deep or as special as anyone that met at 15.
yeah. And I don't think that it will, but like, I don't know. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, I want to make sure that I'm okay. I don't want it to be like a devastating thing because, like, I always thought I was going to be married and I always thought I was going to have kids. And if those things don't happen for me, like, my life is still good. I still have a lot of things to be grateful
And you
for.
are going to be okay. Like
So-
you're one of the
Yeah.
strongest people I know. And
I'll have Desiree be my surrogate.
oh heck yeah, girl. Okay, your baby.
Okay.
Okay, your baby. Let's do this. My room's for rent.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about topic number 1. You wanted to talk about being 30, being single, lowering your standards, dating, etc. Do you want to dive into that?
Yeah. So it is so hard being 30 and single, you guys. Like, I know you guys
Girl, I've
can't
been hearing
relate,
some stories.
but it is.
I don't envy it.
There is too much fuckery out here. Like, I'm telling you, these
Yes.
men are like, not your men, of course, but all these other men, they are trash.
I'm sure if they were single
I
now, I'm
know.
sure there'd be fuckery
They are
happening.
trash. Like, I think that there's like a shortage of good men, or they have kids, or they're married, or they've just
or
realized,
twice divorced.
or twice divorced. Like,
3
you
times
know,
4, who knows?
Yeah.
and they've just realized, like, there are more single women now, and men kind of have options. So like more men, it seems like, are more likely to just be like, oh, I don't want anything serious right now. Like I'm not looking to get married.
Cop out, I feel.
Yeah,
like.
because they don't have no timeline. You know, like they don't have to worry about their eggs getting old and not being not being
for them. They're like, I could do that anytime.
Right? Yeah, they have they have options. So I feel like and then if you date somebody who's older than you, then they don't really want kids. They've probably already gone that route, so they're done. So there's a part of me that kind of wishes that when I was 21, I was like reckless and just got pregnant on, and be like, oops, sorry, and just figured it out, like, or like kind of like some of the other relationships that I've had, like I've kind of, like not stuck in them and not like fought through like a lot of things that I hear other people say that they just have to like kind of work through, like the issues of being in a new relationship.
Oh, that's
and I've been more like, bye.
So, that's strong woman empowerment.
That
is
independence. Yeah.
But then, now that I'm 32. So now that I'm 32 and I'm single, I'm like kind of questioning like, oh, that guy was really nice. Like, should I not have talked to him because he didn't have a car? Like, I mean, he was 22.
I mean,
like,
he kind of needs a car. He's
but
gonna depend on you to pick him up and drop him off.
He was 22.
That makes sense.
But he walked 10 blocks to work. He lived like by his job.
He was a hard worker.
Yeah, and he had explained to me that he had a car.
Job, then he didn't need a car.
Yeah, but 22-year-old me was like, no, you need a car because what if we don't go places? I'm not driving
every time.
Yeah, and so I just feel like that was like for me at the time, that was a valid reason to like dismiss this guy who actually probably showed a lot of qualities of someone who.
And probably got a car within the next couple of months.
Yeah, he would have got a car soon. He would have been fine.
Like driven.
He wanted to just hang out with me. Like he didn't like pressure me for sex or like none of that stuff. And now he's like probably like a divorced, 35-year-old man who's like, I don't want to be in a serious relationship. So I mean, I just think that it's harder now to do that, and it kind of makes me question like, was I right in making those decisions? Because now the dating pool has really diminished. Like I'm not as cute and perky and fun as I used to be as well, just because I'm older. I got real shit going on in my life. I got a stressful job. I have like, my dog. I don't have kids, so I have my dog.
My fur baby.
Brody. Like he's gonna listen.
That's right. I'm like, hi, he might. I mean, he could if you wanted him to.
I'll just make him right. He'll be like, get that shit out my face. But I don't know. Like I question a lot of the previous decisions that I've made. And even like just, in relationships, like I know that, I don't know, I haven't shared with, Justine, you kind of what happened in my last relationship and how we broke up, but, kind of high level, basically like we went on a vacation, and on that vacation, he was drinking and got really drunk, and we had dated for 1.5 years and we had been friends for like 5 years, and he used that opportunity to tell me everything he hated about me. This was when I was about to turn 30. It was right before I turned 30. So it was in August. My birthday's in September. And he just told me everything he hated about me, everything he hated about my family. He just like lashed into me. And this is the first day of our 7-day, vacation.
Oh my God.
And it was really horrible. It was really devastating and a very difficult experience to go through, because that's why I say, like, when I say that I thought I was in a serious I was in a serious relationship, but then when that person reveals to you kind of how they felt the whole time during that relationship and kind of what you thought, like, it kind of it's very difficult to hear those things from somebody who you kind of like thought you were going to be with, and somebody who you were building that relationship with and trying to have that connection with, and especially somebody who like you had been friends with for so long that
that's a long
it's
time
just
to have
like,
a friendship.
not only like do I lose my friend, but like now I've lost like, my boyfriend. I'm turning 30 in a month, less than a month. And, you
guys are building a life.
Yeah. And I just found out that like actually
time for bullshit.
And I just found out like everything that I thought was real, like wasn't, you know what I mean? And it just, it really like broke me down kind of, and made me feel like it made me question like a lot of things about myself. And this kind of is going into my second topic here about like self-confidence and like self-esteem, because like when I was younger, I always like, after the bullying thing and all that, when I like grew up, I kind of had like gained my confidence and like felt like I'm a valuable person, like I'm somebody who's like worthy of love and somebody who is like, worthy of all the good things that life could bring to me. And then, to have like, one of the most valuable people in your life, like somebody who'd be like built so much with kind of just kind of tear you down. It really it made me like start to question like kind of everything about myself and like all the past decisions that I've made, and kind of like, just like literally like I'll look, like he told me he hated my hair, right? And so then like after that,
really,
yeah.
I know.
So like after that, like every hairstyle I had, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this hairstyle is so ugly. Like, why did I think this was cute? Or, like,
I honestly, beat him up myself.
I know.
Yeah, just
like that sounds like a personal issue.
And
that's probably what it is he's probably a fucking sad person on the inside, and he's taking out all his anger on you.
Yeah, and it's not fair. Like, honestly, if anything, that experience should be a self-reflection of who he was. Because what kind of person, a happy person, would not take the time to sit and criticize somebody that they're supposed to love? Like, you just don't do
out
that.
of nowhere.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
And like, I've heard that the best way to test a relationship is to go on a vacation with somebody, because it shows the real them, because like vacations can be very stressful or overwhelming. And then all of a sudden the real them's coming out. And honestly, it's like, that's a reflection of him, because you're such an unhappy person that the only way you can feel better is to like
bring somebody down.
Yeah. Like, that makes no sense. If you're a happy person, there's no need to make someone else feel bad to make yourself feel better. So at the end of the day, he needs to work on him, because only a sad person would feel the need to do that. Because when you're happy, you don't feel like
you don't need to like
that.
feed on the negativity of other people. Like, you don't need to put other people down to make yourself feel better.
Exactly.
So
when I'm happy, I feel like I want to bring people up.
Like, I found out like other things about him during that time that I just, I'm not going to share right now, but I found out like, a lot of stuff about him that I didn't know at that time too. But I, it's hard to kind of separate that when, like kind of, logically that makes sense. Like, hey, you wouldn't be doing this if you were good.
Yeah.
But when your emotions are all in it, like
in the moment.
Yeah, your heart just hurts. Like the way I cried, you guys, and like the way that my heart hurt was just like, I've never felt like pain like that. And
and to be so far from home.
That kind of and then for the next 7 days, I mean, and we were there with other people, which also made it like kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Because, and luckily, like one of the couples that was supposed to come didn't show up. So we had got two-room suites.
Ooh,
so one of the rooms empty. So I moved into the other room because I was like, I don't want to be around you. But it just made everything, it just made everything awful. And, you're on vacation, you want to have fun. Like, you spent a lot of money to be here. And then just to have that happen on the first day is like,
if you could rewind time, I feel like I'd be that little angel in her ear and be like, drink.
Yeah.
Have
right.
Fun. Go out.
And I just started ignoring him. Like, that's all I could do is I started ignoring him. I remember we went to like a karaoke thing that was like down there in the thing, and like Taylor Swift's like shake it off, shake it off. So I did that on I did that on the karaoke, and like this guy like he was like a kid there, like a he's like the teenager kid, and he was like like dancing with me and stuff, and it was just like really fun. So it did kind of make me feel like like why are you ruining your time while you're here? That was like maybe the third day. So then I did like sign up for some like little ATVs and all that stuff just to make the most of my trip. But
not let him fucking ruin
it was definitely hard to deal with. And then when I came back, I just like went to this like extremely positive place because I felt like I was going to just fall apart if I like thought about it. So then I was just super happy for like a year. Like anything anybody said to me, I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, like of course. Like the dog died.
Phrases.
I'm like, but think about the time that you spent with him. Like I'm sure he's in heaven right now, looking down on you. Like like all this. Like I just tried to like flip anything that my car got broken into. I'm like, but they didn't kill you. You weren't in it. So that's awesome, Like
that's a good way to look at it though.
I was just trying to be like super positive, like overcompensating for like all of the, I was hiding my feelings.
Yeah.
And then, so then I dated another guy. And I think that I hadn't dealt with all of the feelings because I was pretending that everything was fine from that, that last time that I got hurt. I mean, obviously I'm still crying about it. So it still, hurts me. Right.
You're human. Of course. It hurts.
And so when I got into this other relationship, obviously I wasn't able to be myself and I wasn't able to give him like all the things that he needed. And I mean, he was so sweet. It was almost like I felt like like I didn't deserve to date somebody so sweet. Cause like I remember me and my friends were gonna go on a vacation and they canceled. We were like planning to go to Vegas or something and we canceled. And he's like, "Oh, you seem really sad. Do you want me to take you to Vegas? I'll book the trip. I'll book the trip, like all that." Or like I'd be like,
wow,
I'm like, "Oh, I'm really bored. Like I want to do something." And he'd like call and be like, "Hey, get dressed," and like do stuff. Like, he did like all the stuff that you think that you want a guy to do, but I just wasn't in a place to receive that. So it made it, like I feel like I want to, like a lot of people ask me now, like, why am I not dating? And it's pretty much because I don't feel like I want to put myself out there until I heal from all of the things that I have to deal with now. Because it's not fair. Like I wouldn't want some guy who like has all this baggage, but with his ex to come out and try to date me. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying men are trash. Because they do things like that. They will. Men will date you anyways and be like, yeah, let's be in a serious relationship. Everything's great. Like, I love you, da-da-da. And have like 2 other girlfriends that they're telling the same thing. Like, from my negative view. I'm sorry. I'm negative now.
It's easily accessible.
I've gotten like, it's.
I mean, it sounds like you're trying to work on you so that you're ready to be open to date somebody and not have that baggage. Yeah. And that's smart because, I mean, you have to be with you forever. You might as well make yourself someone you like.
Exactly. You have to like you, right? And you have to love you and you have to be okay with you before you can ask somebody else to be okay with you. You can't, and like also you can't like look to other people to kind of validate you and how you feel about yourself.
And honestly, from an outside perspective, I think you're doing amazing. I mean, you've done amazing in your career. You're an amazing friend. Like, you're an amazing person. So it's like, I feel like you're almost there. And it's like, as soon as you feel like you're there, I think that's the perfect time to put yourself out there again.
Yeah. It's hard.
Of course. I mean, you're human. All of these are natural emotions. But, I mean, from a friend standpoint, we all think you're amazing and we love having you around.
You guys. I
Definitely,
appreciate and it is nice to have like friends who you can kind of talk through these things with too. Like I wasn't expecting to cry today, and to kind of like go into this stuff. But I think
you opened up.
Yeah, it's so good for your soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in a relationship previously and an engagement and stuff, and it was the same. So I can definitely relate that at one point it was like he bashed my family and my mom and my cousins and my dad and my uncles, and it was just like, and family means a lot to me. I mean, so it was like once that started happening and he would bring me down or whatever, it was like, I realize now that like, you're not for me. Bye. You gotta go.
I feel like that's this episode of this.
Bye.
You gotta go.
It is what it is. Yeah, he had to go. Even after 4 years, he had to go. And then at that point, I learned when I met my husband that I literally put everything on the table. And if you don't like me for me, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Just like So I played it all out on the table up front because I didn't want to sugarcoat anything, be fake, be super cute about something. It was just everything was out there because this is who I am. And at this point, if you don't like me, my family, or anything, you gotta go.
Yeah, because I mean, your family is who's gonna be there for you, and your family, like every family has like their shit, right? But like if you don't like my family, like I don't know, you gotta wait like 5 years to say that.
I've heard the whole like you didn't marry me for my family. I get it. You didn't marry me for my family. You married me for me. Yes, but it was like this person that I had dated and was engaged to, it was like they just, I don't know, they were better than me, they were better than my friends, they were better than my family, everything was great about them, but everything on my side was shit. And at that point it was just like this just isn't
that's not
working.
Gonna work because if you think you're better than my family, like are you secretly saying that you think you're better than me? Like because
but that's what it was. That's what it was, is you're smarter than me, your family's better than my family, your friends are cooler than mine, like. And at that point, after I really did try I really did try for 4 years, and at that point I was like, you know what, this ain't working. You got to move out of my house.
Yeah.
And wait. Literally, you got 30 days. Here's your notice. Get out. Take care of my dog while I'm gone.
You're better than me. You're better than me and your family. Smarter than me, better friends than me, and all this shit. But you live in my house.
Yeah. You live in my family's house. See? Yeah.
Yeah. Their house is good enough for you. Yeah. But nothing else.
No.
Right?
And so I totally understand. And at this point, I feel like going forward, be you.
And see that, and you were like, you had the confidence to kind of break up and like get out of that, that situation.
I will literally never forget the drive home. the drive home and how free I felt. Just being me and getting away from that toxicness. I will never forget it. And I think by the time I realized how free I was at Greenback. I
Got at that stoplight. You're just like,
literally remember that moment of Greenback passing the exit, just like, and I started laughing at myself.
Just felt this like this release.
See,
like,
that's how you know it's right. If
that's
you just
how
feel
you know.
free, because it's like if you loved them or wanted to be with them, you'd feel sad or feel like oh, you're missing something. But if you feel free,
toxic.
Then that means that you finally got rid of that fucking shit holding you
fucking
back.
Cancer.
Yeah.
That's why men are cancer, you guys. I feel
So
like
maybe you need to feel free before you can meet
feel
that
free.
one.
Be you. Be
well, and I'm also
yourself.
like debating, like maybe I just need somebody to, have the relations with.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need a
Fuck
nighttime
it.
friend. Yeah,
So,
like maybe that's all
let me
I
ask
need.
this
Like,
question.
let me have you serve
what's
the
the
right
question?
purpose.
Question time.
Okay, now
Oh,
obviously
shoot.
not me because I've been in a relationship for a long time. But there's somebody I know that has been on a dating site and just went out with somebody. It was a POF or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked for a little bit and then they went on their first date and then they came home with them the same day, but they felt bad about it. They didn't have sex or anything.
Yeah.
They messed around. They felt bad about having the first night. Is that because I've been in a relationship in my adult life? In an adult life, is that a bad thing?
I think
nothing
it really just depends on the person. Like free the vagina, right? Like
That's how I looked at it. Was like,
I mean, as long as they're safe and everybody who's involved, I think is into it. I don't think that there's any
I think
any
you
issue
shouldn't
with
feel
it.
guilty about a
I've
one
met
nighter.
some people who are like, that's part of the interview. Okay, like I need to see what you're working with because I don't want to be stuck for 20 years. With somebody who like.
I think like if you're a grown adult and you want them to come back to your house, whether it's just to hang out or if whatever, that's your choice, and you should feel confident in it because who the fuck cares?
I think
if that's what you want, do what you want. Because at the end of the day, only you're gonna make yourself happy. So if bringing this person back to hang out is gonna make you happy, do it.
I've done dust off the cobwebs.
I've definitely had my share
at
of
least
next
spoon
Netflix
or some
and chills.
over the clothes play. I don't know, whatever makes you happy.
I feel like if there was that, if I had not had intercourse or any kind of stuff like that for months, I feel like if you're gonna do the over the pants I feel like you're gonna need to leave so I can pull out my shit.
I want to do myself. It's like I don't need you. You can go.
Like if we're just gonna do this outer play, you gotta go so I can pull out that shit.
Yeah.
If it's been 6 months and you're what I've got, like you gotta go. I gotta do myself.
You're like, actually, I have a appointment after this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they were pretty much like the fluffer. I've heard somebody call it the fluffer.
Oh shit, I like it.
The
So just a little
vibrator, or-
No,
the
the
fluffer,
person.
So like,
Oh, the
like
person.
like a foreplay,
Get
but
me
then
ready.
go
So they got
that
you
I get
ready,
myself
and then
ready.
now if we're not gonna do anything.
Like, I'm a lady. You have to leave.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your services.
In a minute flat.
Yes, if that 45 seconds.
Right. I know you sent that link to that thing. I want to buy it so bad,
When
but
she
I just don't.
is that
I don't
want
want
to
to.
Yes,
At the ice cream place.
I
the
do
soccer
not
thing, yeah.
get why you guys have not
Oh,
ordered
that's
it
right.
yet.
I want to
This
order it so
vibrator
bad.
is the shit.
I'm afraid that somebody else in my house is gonna open the box.
Oh my God.
And then I'm gonna be like, Grandma, I can explain.
It's just gonna look like an Amazon box, okay?
That vibrator
Just
was
No, my
crazy.
grandma is. You guys don't understand. Okay, so I just recently moved in with my grandmother, and you guys do not understand. She is so nosy. Like,
She'll open your Amazon
no,
box.
she won't open it. But every time I get it, like every time I've gotten a package, she's like, "Oh, what did you get? Let me see." And so I need to like order that and
Just
like some
pretend
other
I
I
stuff.
think but you know what? Your grandma's single,
My
Recently.
grandfather. Yeah, my grandfather
Okay.
passed away. Yeah.
but she would understand then.
Buy her one too.
No. Okay. So, without revealing too much about my history, because I know I'm in the room with like some high school sweetheart people. I was having a conversation with my grandmother, and she was like, "Yeah, and she was a hoe. She had sex with like 3 people," and I was like, "Okay." I'm like, is that what a hoe
So
is?
3 and above to your grandma's a
So
hoe.
my grandma, I'm sure she'd be like, "You shouldn't masturbate. God is watching." You know, like I feel like she maybe like God understands that I have needs, right? Like me and God, we have our own
gave you
relationship.
those
We talk.
needs.
I
We
know.
talk. We talk. And
Adam
I
and
asked
Eve
him, and he
gave you
said he
those.
gives me a pass. But no, like I definitely have been thinking about ordering that. I'm just, you know, I'm scared. I'm
You
like, where
won't
else can I
regret
send it?
it.
I'm gonna
I
like send it
love
to your
it
house.
so
I'm like,
much.
Desiree, bring this to work.
I will totally bring it to work because your life will change. Since getting that vibrator, I'm just telling you. Ugh. If you would like a backstory, there's this vibrator that my husband got me for Valentine's Day, and it was amazing. And because I'm a great friend, I sent them the link and said, order this. It has a sucking feature. And they're just like, what? And then I was just like, no. Okay, it looks weird, but what it does to you, it's my best friend. Sorry, Christine.
You don't need a man. Okay.
Breaking up
I
with you for my
understand. I
vibrator.
understand.
Look, so what I got from
And
that
I'm just
is
saying,
buy
it's-
the vibrator, pay off my student loans, buy my own fucking house,
Mhm.
and I'll be good.
Yeah.
You don't need
that
nothing.
vibrator
That's
will
it. You
go
don't
with
need
you
nothing
through all
else,
of that
right?
process.
I'm
Keep your
telling you,
dog.
before this
You'll be fine.
vibrator, I think I went maybe 2 years without masturbating because it was like, well, if I want to like get mine,
Really?
my husband's downstairs. So yeah, no,
TMI.
it was a long
So like
time.
in the
And then when he got it for like us to share, I liked it so much that I started having me time again. And I'm not ashamed of it because it's
But
so
does
great.
he know you
But
have
don't
me
you
time?
use
Oh
it
heck
together?
no! We'll use it together, and I also
Yeah.
use it alone. Because it's like sometimes I come to bed and I'm just like, and then I'm like, you know what would make me really fall asleep? An orgasm.
You go, girl. Because if I have an orgasm, I'm awake.
Really?
Like, bitch, I'm
Oh,
watching
no.
my show. Yes.
Oh,
I feel
girl,
like
no.
it kicks me down, and I'm just like that,
awake
and then I'm
he's
just like,
asleep.
nah, nighttime.
I'm ready to go to bed. Yeah, I'm with you.
No, yeah. After I get that, I'm just like, I'm ready for bed.
I feel like I got an adrenaline rush. I'm like, bing. And he's
Really?
over there snoring, and I'm like, great. Now I'm awake.
That sounds
You're like, thanks.
inconvenient.
It is
No.
inconvenient.
Yeah.
You start cleaning up.
I could stay up till like midnight, 1 o'clock.
Oh my god!
She's
yes,
like, fucking,
that's what
she's like, I just got my
happened.
energy. But
You
she's
know
like,
what?
hey.
Your orgasm sounds inconvenient at nighttime.
Oh, this is it. She's like, you sleep. Like, right? You know the guys. I thought they always.
me.
You sleep.
That
Like,
rollover
yeah.
and that roll.
That kind of like
grab.
roll. Yeah.
Ooh, I would never have nighttime sex if it meant I was gonna be awake for hella hours.
Oh, this reminds me. Okay.
no.
So this
'Cause
makes me
it's
think
like,
about something.
Fine, it's just gonna knock me out. So let's do this.
So, are you guys like initiators? Like, how do you feel about that? I think like, I feel like for me, like I'll initiate sex, but if you ever reject me, it'll be like forever before I do it again. So like, if I want to
Oh.
do it and I initiate, like you need to be very receptive, very enthusiastic, because otherwise,
If
I'm
you're
gonna be
not,
like,
I need a reason why.
yeah, I'm like, why don't you want me? You don't
Well.
want me anymore. You know, like.
For me, clearly there is something wrong with me. But when I initiate, it's normally when my husband is like almost asleep
Oh
or
my
not
gosh.
feeling well. Like if he seems like in
So
a
you are the
vulnerable
wrong
state,
fucking time.
if he seems like he's in a vulnerable state, I'm just like,
Pounce.
I'd like to do this. And then he's just like, I literally have a cold. And I was just like, but I've never been
That's
so
okay.
aroused.
You're like, it's okay. You'll
I'm
be
gonna catch
fine.
that shit.
If you sneeze,
There's-
it expands.
Yeah.
Right. It expands.
Like I
It
said,
makes it-
there's something
Wait.
wrong with me.
Oh my gosh.
It's like if he's in a vulnerable state, that's when I'm just like, hey, honey. Yeah, I'm broken.
I wonder if
don't
Yeah.
he knew that, if he would be more vulnerable.
he's always like,
I know,
Not
yeah.
feeling good.
Like, damn,
I'm
babe,
so
you're like
sick.
always sick
Uh-huh.
now.
I'm so sick, right?
Yeah, clearly there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Maybe I like to be the dominant and I don't know.
I think that is a very big
Maybe you should do it
possibility.
more.
Be the dominant?
Yeah. Like,
I know, but I feel like, I don't know if it's like this with all dudes, but I feel like my husband comes on so strong. Just like, and then all of a sudden I'm just like,
I've
Eh.
heard before that somebody's filmed a husband and wife, but she has actually said that he literally jumps on her. Like,
oh no.
just literally jumps on her. Oh my God.
No.
That's insane.
I don't know. I'd be a little off. I'd be like, whoa, like, calm down, Tiger. It's all right. I'll be here. You don't have to jump. You don't have to jump.
See, because I feel like that aggression would totally be like my lady boner killer.
But sometimes, like, okay, so, and I've never been married, so I don't know what it's like, you know, as far as like a married perspective, but like, you have that, like, you know how you said like you're super turned on, like you have that moment like where if it does come on strong, he's just like doing it right, you're instantly like, what? You're like, you have to do it now. Like, hurry up.
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, come on, tiger. Because that's like, that's what's arousing you. But maybe like when you're washing the dishes is not the right time. Like, or,
Oh my God. Yeah. Like dirty dishes, deep, dirty food. Smelling rotten shit.
Yes.
Okay,
Don't
I have a
come up
question.
behind me grinding when I'm cleaning dishes or if I'm
You
doing...
can come up and give me a cute little kiss on the cheek and give me a little hug around the waist. Motherfucker, whether nothing's happening because I am elbows deep in fucking rotten egg from breakfast.
you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you're like, that's a hard no.
He's like, the eggs turn me on.
That's so weird.
Okay.
That might be as bad as
It's
me
the
like, oh, are
yolk.
you not feeling well?
It's
Hi.
like the stickiness of the yolk. It's like the consistent, like the yolk of the egg. Anyway, TMI.
Don't eat. We
So,
already talked about
go
how
ahead.
much we
I have a
hate
question. It's
sperm.
not my podcast, but I do have a question because it popped in my head. So, like, what is like the most exciting place that you've had sex?
Oh my God.
That's a very good question.
Exciting, weird, caught.
I mean, does that count like with Roadhead?
Oh my God.
I mean, I think that might be it.
I've done that and I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
I've done that. I have done that.
Yes, I think
That's a thing.
Maybe
It's always weird though.
because it's just like it's like you're doing it, but you're also like, don't get too distracted where you fucking kill me.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Oh my
like,
God. Well, and you see like on TV, like there's always a policeman, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
do you really get in trouble? Is that really illegal?
I mean, it's
Or is that, like, on
probably
TV?
illegal,
Yes.
but
Well, I mean, like,
If
is
you
there
get
really
caught.
a law that says like you cannot perform head
no.
to a man
I
while he's driving?
guarantee
Like,
there's
I
It's
would
like
love
distracted
to see if
driving.
that bill got
I would love
passed.
to see
I want to
that
read it.
too.
It's definitely distracted driving.
Mm.
I do have a funny story.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm ready.
So, oh my God. It's a good thing that my mom doesn't. I mean, it's not a good thing she's not here because, but
Good thing she
so
can't
that she
hear
can't
this.
hear this technically and then grill me about it later because I know she'd say, I told you
Ooh,
so.
The build up. I'm so ready to hear it.
So, it's not technically weird, but a odd situation. So we went out to eat, mom and dad, and somebody else. And then afterwards, I don't fucking know why. Apparently because when you're young and you don't have kids, you just are in the mood.
Yes.
We went behind, literally from the restaurant to this location. It's like in a dark behind an office building.
Oh wow. Okay.
Outdoor, I'm assuming.
It sounds like a setup for like a fucking like Batman. Like,
Why
gonna
does my
come-
parents roll through the parking lot? And
Oh,
are you
I don't
serious?
know, I'm literally crawling in the back seat.
Like-
And they're rolling through the parking lot like really slow. And I was like, oh shit.
Like, are they looking for you, or like, did they know you were there?
I'm assuming they followed us and seeing the truck. And so
Like,
it
why
goes
is the
really
truck shaking?
slow. And then it stops for a second and then they just go off.
Oh God, they fucking knew.
Stop
They
it.
knew.
You're cut,
Oh, I didn't
Justine.
think about your mom hearing this. I hope she doesn't tell my dad.
I don't think she really listens. I think she's like, yeah, honey, I'll listen, and then doesn't. And it's probably for
hope
the
that's
best.
it. Oh my God. It was so embarrassing. Because then my mom asked me about it.
Oh no, she
Wait, she asked you, so she did. She
No.
saw. She was like, I know what's going on.
Who drives behind a fucking dark building after dinner?
really slow.
Oh wait,
Old
okay. I have
people
a
don't
follow up
do
question.
that.
They're like, what's
So you went to
Justine
dinner with
doing?
your parents,
Yes.
and then afterwards you couldn't resist. So you're like, let's go to this alley, and your
That-
mom's like, oh,
yep.
that looks like Justine's car.
Yep.
And rolls by.
We're going to follow them
and
to this
catches
dark
you
alley.
having sex in the alley.
It's not an alley. It's behind a building.
This still
What is
sounds
it?
bad.
It is not an alley.
It
That sounds like
bad.
an alley.
Sounds bad. But it's an office building.
It sounds like the start of a murder movie.
That's terrible. That's what I was
Well,
saying.
my
I'm like, Batman's
excuse
gonna come
was-
like save
yeah.
you from like the villain who's trying to like attack
The villain's like,
you.
ooh, what are you doing? I'm gonna try to kill you. And the Batman's
Kill
like,
you.
I
not
would
today.
hope they would wait.
I kill you.
I hope they would wait.
I mean,
The
I don't
villains.
know.
No, they're like, no. If I'm not coming, you're not coming either.
Oh, speaking of sex, I think it's really funny to. This is the time to tell the power box sex story.
Power box.
What is the
Not
power
about
box?
me. About the young kid in my backyard.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, young love, I don't want to hate it, but at the same time, I'm clearly that get off my lawn lady, and I didn't know it.
She's a hater.
Long story short, there's a power box behind my backyard, and my husband had caught these two like 2 weeks prior doing something naughty, and he didn't think I was going to believe him. So 2 weeks later, he sees them up to their no good, and he's like, honey, come upstairs and look. And because I'm not a sneaky person, I go upstairs and I open my daughter's windows, like her curtains, and I didn't realize the blinds were all the way up. So when I open the curtains, it's just all window and me looking down at these kids in the middle of their fuckery. And I do not know what to do with myself, so I just point at him and I'm like, you! And then I close the blinds. And I just shamed this, like,
You
maybe.
both are shamed. At
Oh
that
my
point.
God. And I just, like, because we make eye contact. And it's what's worse is, like, he's inside her. And we lock eyes. And then I just am like, logical
Your face
explanation.
is in his head at that
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
And then I shame him and I go, you! And
he's
oh
like, I'm
God.
the man.
Yes. And then so I close the blinds and then I go and I scream at my husband and I'm like, how dare you make me do that? And he's just like, well, it's not my fault you can't be sneaky. And I was like, so I can be a pervert? I didn't know what was happening.
Well, how did he see? Like, did he open the blinds too? Or was it like...
So
did he
I
say?
think he was like, I don't know what he was doing upstairs, but he saw them, like, I guess. And he was just like, oh my God, Desiree, come look. And I was just like, no, I don't want to. That's weird. And he was just like, no, see, I want you to see that I'm not making it up. And I'm just like, okay. And then like I go up the stairs and I'm like, whatever. And so to me, I'm like, I'm thinking the blinds are down. So I'm just like going to open the curtains and like do that little peeky thing through the blinds. But to not my knowledge, the blinds were all the way up. So when I opened the curtains, it was just all window and my face looking down at this poor 15-year-old making eye contact and then just shaming the fuck out of him.
Well, he should be shamed.
He should be ashamed. I mean,
Because I'm a power box, really, in the open.
In the
it's-
day.
Oh my God.
Can
So
you do
let's
that at
follow up.
night,
You have to
please?
finish out the story with like what happened on Halloween too. And
Okay.
Oh my God, what happened on Halloween? Did I miss something?
Were you not
again?
here on
No, you were
Halloween?
inside. Okay, so this situation had us so paranoid. We were I had a Halloween party and we were playing beer pong in the backyard, and then we hear like movement, and all of a sudden we like get freaked out and we're just like, oh my God, are they fucking again? And then it's like probably 10 o'clock at night and we're just screaming in my backyard, climbing on the fence, looking at the power box, be like, you better not be fucking.
literally,
Oh my God.
they will never come back there again. They're like,
They
the lady's
will
crazy.
not.
Good.
And,
They shouldn't be fucking in daylight while
Well,
school's in session.
Listen,
I
you said
know
they
it
should
was
be.
literally
Should
it
not
was-
be.
It was like 3 o'clock. Like, why are you
Oh,
fucking
was
at
it in the
3
daytime?
o'clock?
Oh, well, the Halloween thing was at night. So
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
that
That was
was-
that was
at
at
night
night.
Okay, so then I have another thing. Okay, so you didn't answer the question. So where's the weirdest place you've had sex?
Oh, was that your answer? Like the dark alley?
It's not a dark alley.
You
It
made
was-
it sound
it
like
was
a dark alley.
It was a
Justine.
dark business.
Okay.
If that makes you feel better.
I don't know. I don't think that'd be the weirdest, but
What was behind? What was on the other side of the building? Was it another building?
oh, it was on 80.
Oh, okay, that's better. So she had sex on the freeway. Okay.
80, and then there was the parking lot, and then there was the building.
Yes.
So wait, no.
Mine's not weird like that. Mine's more like, so I went on a camping trip and like we were in a tent and like tents are all next to each other and they're not walls. So it's like I was camping and my sister and her husband's tent, my friend Heather's tent, and then me and Kirk in a tent. And what's worse is because it was so first of all, we're hella fucking drunk. We're fucking in a tent where everyone can hear. And then I accidentally
Guaranteed.
no, hold on. It's worse. We're only like a month dating and I'm like, I love you. And then I was like, never mind, I don't. That was a lie.
You told him that?
And the thing is, like,
While you were having sex.
tents are not soundproof. Why was I hella fucking loud?
my gosh.
So everybody knows that you said, I love you. Wait, I don't.
Oh, no, yeah. I was like, I love you. Never mind. That was a lie.
I love having sex with you. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh
in a
my
tent.
God.
In a tent. And I mean, I think it's one of those situations where people will never say anything about hearing, but you know.
You know they heard.
Everybody heard.
Because
I mean,
I've heard
tents are
people
not
having
buildings.
sex in a tent, so yeah, they heard.
So I guess that's probably the weirdest place I
that's
had
weird.
sex.
And that's kind of embarrassing. But
Because
it
it's
worked out.
basically in the public. Like,
Positive.
what are you doing?
It worked out for you. At least you're married.
I mean, now
To that same person.
To that same person.
Yeah,
Slinger.
it took him a month later to tell me he loved me.
Yeah, but I mean, so you
guess
wait.
That
so
means
you-
it was
wait,
like 2
wait,
months.
wait,
That
wait,
sounds
wait.
seems okay.
So in 2 months, you guys decided you loved each other.
Yes, I mean, clearly we moved
How
fast.
old were you?
Kirk was 20 when he told me he loved me, and I was still 20 because it was on my birthday.
That makes more sense.
Or no, it was the day before my birthday, so I was still 20, and then I turned 21. I
Young
know. I never said it was right.
No, it's just it's just different. I don't know. I've never done that fast, but I have like trust issues and all that other stuff. So I mean, maybe it's me. I don't know. So one of the weirdest place I had, it's not weird, but like kind of like a funny caught story is like we went to me and my ex who told me he hated me.
Fuck him.
We were at the
Fuck
we went
you.
to the we went to the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's like a little trail to like a black sand beach. And so we go down to the black sand beach and we're like kind of hanging out down there and all that stuff. And then as we come back, we're like, hey, we should have sex right here because you can see the ocean, right?
Oh,
Not thinking that this is like, a trail that like there wasn't a lot of people down there. So we're like, what are the chances somebody's going to come back?
Uh-huh.
So literally I'm outside, like not hanging from a tree, but hanging from this tree.
Oh God.
Hanging from this tree having sex. And we hear these people coming. And as they're walking up, we hear them like, what are they doing? Like whispering. And I'm like, oh my God.
They're talking about you.
Yeah. And so I like hurry up and like pull my pants up. He like pulls us up and we run and we just like hide in the car
my
and like try to like shrink and wait.
Oh,
but
God.
it was like, I was like,
Oh,
oh my gosh.
no.
I think I used to be so adventurous. But then you reminded me that I've also given like roadhead.
Well, since we're doing questions, should we do bull questions?
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
want to do bull
I'm gonna
first?
do one. Have you ever been on a blind date?
No, I don't think so. Not that, I mean, is online dating a blind date? Oh, you mean like just where somebody like hooks?
I'm assuming it's like when
I
somebody
have
sets
been on
you
a blind
up.
date. Nope.
You
I
have
have been
been?
on a blind date.
Yes.
And my friend called me up and was like, I think like not by ourselves. We did like a blind kind of double date thing.
Double.
And we went out and this was like actually maybe like 6 months ago.
Oh, so it was recent.
Yeah, so it was recent. It wasn't that long ago, but because I'm tainted, I didn't perform well at this date. But we like went out. He was very nice to me. He like paid for everything, which doesn't equate to nice, but I mean it was a nice bonus.
Yeah.
Especially because I was
It was
broke.
respectable.
It was the end of the month, and state workers only get paid once a month. So at the end of the month is like my struggle period. So so we all went out and like kind of hung out, and he was really sweet to me, and we like hung. We did all this, and he took me to like get food, and we went to like a like kind of like a place to dance and do all that stuff. And then at the end, I was like, hey, like, what kind of impression do I give you? Because I was just kind of curious. And he's like, well, you seem very like you have like walls up and very like distant and kind of so.
Well, at least he's
Clearly,
perspective.
I
Yeah,
am
and
not.
he was honest.
Well, he was
Observant,
honest,
right?
right?
I can respect that.
Yeah, and he was kind of like, so like it seems like you're a bitter woman, and I don't want to date you. He didn't say that, I mean, he was like really nice about it, but I was kind of like, oh, like I didn't know that I was giving that vibe off to people, so at least it gives me like a self-awareness.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
he
that
was honest, and I respect it.
Yep. So that was the last blind date that I went
I
on.
think I've been on one, but I don't know. So when I was like 19, I hung out with my cousin Vicky a lot. Shout out, I love you. And we thought it was funny sometimes to like put our number on a piece of paper and just like when we're on the freeway, like put it on the window. And then so she ended up meeting this guy that she liked, and he brought like a cousin. So I guess like that was like my version of a blind date is like the guy she liked brought somebody, and then like it was like my turn to like hang out with him.
He's like, hang out with my friend while I do your friend.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So it's like they were clearly into each other, and then like he brought a friend, and then I was her friend, and like so we just like played pool and hung out. Like it never like went to anything because I mean I'm a prude, but but that was my version of like I didn't know who it was, but I like of course because I'm super friendly. Of course I was sociable, and I like kept him entertained so that my cousin could hit on this guy she really liked, and but that was
You're the wing woman.
yes, and oh I'm good at it. Bring
Okay.
me, I'll support you, girl. But that was my like only version of a blind date. But I don't know. Does that count?
Right. Yeah, I think that counts.
What
I mean,
about
that
you?
counts.
I
When
don't
you're
think I
younger,
have.
None.
I don't
ever,
think so.
you've never like had a friend who'd be like, hey, like hang out with this guy's friend so I can hang out with him.
Probably, but nothing memorable.
So maybe she's had one.
Maybe,
I guess that
but-
speaks
She'll
for
have to
itself.
think about it.
All right.
Okay, my turn to ask a question. Let's see. Oh God,
That's
of
a
course
long
it's
ass one.
Would you rather have an easy job working for someone else or work for yourself, but the work will be incredibly hard?
Easy job.
So
How much does it pay?
does not say. So basically, it's like, would you rather work easy, but you're working for somebody, or would you rather like work
hard for
hard, but
yourself?
you're your own boss?
I saw this thing that said like, you know, a lot of people like kind of focus on this like entrepreneurial stuff and, you know, like you should be your own boss and your own making your own business. But there are ways to make money and still work for other people because some people just don't want to do that. And honestly, like you can't be a boss if you don't have people working for you. So somebody has to do the work. And so I think for me, I just recently became a manager and transitioning into that role and like understanding all the responsibility that goes into being a manager and like having people like ask me like, hey, can I have Christmas off? Like, fuck that shit. Like, I don't know. Like, no, is your work done? You know what I mean? Or like, I think just, you know, knowing that like not everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit or like that's not the path that, you know, is set out for them. So I think for me personally, I'd rather have an easy job and get paid enough money and have work-life balance.
I agree.
I like that too. Yeah.
Like, because easy work, yeah, you're not your own boss and you don't get to make the rules, but at the same time, there's less responsibility and you can focus on other aspects of your life.
I like it.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think that's a good one.
But I think you can also have a job and have like a side gig.
Yeah,
Like
if
your
there's
own
something you
podcast.
do, like who was your friend that makes the cookies? Like she said she
Actually,
has
that's
yeah.
Justine's cousin. Shout out to Sugar Smash.
Sugar Smash.
Yep, Sugar Smash Bakery.
Hi, Ashley.
I love her cookies. They're so delicious. And she's actually going to be our next guest after you. And she's supposed to make a cookie with our logo. We're very excited.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I should have went after so I can get some cookies. Okay.
You know what?
We'll save
That's
some.
your decision. Okay.
Okay, look.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Sippin' and Dishin'. Thank you, Erica, for
Hello.
joining us. We hope you all enjoyed the episode, and thanks for listening. Until next time.
Bye.